Good evening. This is the video newsletter for Buy Sell Short for Thursday, December 16th. We're going to start today off with the chart of the SMH. Over the last few days, volume has really been lacking, and we've seen the SMH sort of come off its previous highs. But as you can see on the SMH chart, we tested the 20-day exponential yesterday, and it held. And this is also the uptrend line that dates back all the way down to the September lows. And today we have a nice little hammer bottom on it with a nice extension to the upside late in the day. Volume still really pitiful on the SMH. 3.5 million today is, I believe, almost one of the lowest non-holiday trading sessions for the SMH we've had all year. So options expiration is tomorrow, so we should see volume start to pick up. We did have the dollar, if we look at that chart, start to bounce back today, which is kind of funny. Dollar always seems to bounce after the Fed meetings, even though the actions that the Fed take is dollar negative. But essentially, what you happen is one of those sell on the news. In this case, the dollar was selling off into the news of the Fed and then bouncing on the Fed news. But back to the SMH, nice little bounce here, looking sort of similar to what we saw in early November before we saw the market bottom there in mid-November and get a nice little run. So we want to continue to see the SMH hold that 20-day exponential. Back to the Dow daily chart. As you can see on the Dow daily chart, we continue to ride that 8-day moving average up. That's at 10,400. We're looking for a breakout now at 11,520. We're in breakout mode. We did break that double top a couple of days ago, but we want to see the Dow get some legs and get some action here with eyes on a move to 11,700, 12K possible over the next couple of weeks, especially given the news flow that we have out there. Economic data over the last few days has just been very, very nice. And then we had some news this morning on FedEx, which caused an early dip in the futures. And, you know, FedEx is one of those earnings reports that I tell guys, even if you don't trade FedEx, you want to watch what FedEx says or listen to what FedEx says on their earnings conference calls. FedEx and UPS are one of the most perfect barometers of economic activity in the U.S. and overseas. They usually lead the market in their views 3 to 6 months, which is a great thing. FedEx, on its earnings call today, said things are really starting to pick up steam globally, and that is very good for the economy going forward. As you can see on the Dow, we're slowly moving higher. All the indices or all the indicators looking really, really good for the near term. Dow 15-minute chart, you can see support right now. 200-day moving average in the 15-minute time frame is the 11,428 area. So 11,400 to 11,428 is where we want to see the Dow hold up, and breakout is that 11,520 area. Stock plays, very nice couple of days for our plays. WEST off to the races and did exactly what we said the stock was going to do. When we got into this stock a week ago, you remember what I said. We were getting in because this week, over the last 3 years, WEST has popped on average 33%. Last year, I believe, on this week, it popped 50%. Today, it hit an intraday high of 68 cents. 90% gain from our call 2 weeks ago. You cannot ask for anything better than that. Just a monster winner on our research that really wasn't rocket science. Right now, we'd be looking at this one and hoping for a retrace back to the breakout at the 50-day moving average. So we'll be looking to possibly jump in on this one if they give us another entry back there around the 50-cent area. Today's big winner, of course, was PARD. We've been sitting in this one patiently over the last couple of weeks. Again, another January popper play. As I mentioned when we jumped into this one a couple of weeks ago, these are the kind of charts that have been going on big bounce moves, and this is bounce time for sell-off stocks. Remember what I said? It did the same thing in August. Big sell-off, sort of consolidated, and went boom. Here we have a big sell-off, consolidated, boom. Hit our, and after hours it actually hit 55 cents, so hit our target on the nose. Next target in this one would be looking for a move to 65 cents. Now, the news that set PARD free today was news that their prepaying or voluntarily paying off their debt, $12 million and change. And very rarely do you see biotech stocks or many companies pay off their debt voluntarily. And the reason they're doing it is to get rid of the restrictions that this debt has. Usually, when companies have debt, there's restrictions like you can't buy a company, you can't merge with a company, you can't sell your assets, etc., etc., etc. So, something is brewing on PARD, and this is the season for stocks to go on very nice moves. And the action we saw in PARD, we should see some continued follow through on it tomorrow. CXM, another beaten down biotech play, very nice bounce off support. We had tax sellers over the last couple of weeks who have now moved to the sidelines. Breakout is 50 cents. You can see RSI broke up above 50. We had a positive MACD cross on this one today, which is very, very good to see. And stochastics are in a nice uptrend and about to break 50. So we've got a lot of indicators on CXM saying this one is ready to rock and roll. Would be looking to add this one. Any dips under the 20-day exponential, so under 45 cents, would be looking to accumulate this. BLDP, Ballard Power, continues to lag its peers. FCEL, actually, let's pull up FCEL. FCEL, big move, which we rode into its earnings report, tanked on earnings, and then bounced back. This is over the last 2 weeks. Then we have wrong chart. ACPW, another peer. Check out this move over the last couple of weeks. Huge, huge moves on both of these stocks. And here we have Ballard Power dealing with tax loss sellers right now. Very nice bottom on this one. Would be adding at a $1.40 area. And if it does anything like its peers, again, we're looking for a move at least to the 50-day moving average. That is up there at a $1.60. HNSN. This was one of our January popper plays from last week. Our target when we jumped into this one at 127, 129 area was a $1.50. Got as high as a $1.49 early yesterday, and then since then, tax sellers again hit the stock. We've been seeing this a lot lately where stocks break out, they retrace, they scare the crap out of traders, and then they go on to move to new highs. Target here remains a $1.60, the 50-day moving average, going into early January. So just going to sit patiently on this one. We're not going to catch the absolute bottom on a lot of these stocks. We got a fat 20 cents or 15% move on HNSN. Here it is, back down at the same level again. Time for another elevator ride back up. PRKR. This is a play that looks like it's ready to go on a very nice move. As I mentioned in the email alert, we've got some possible news pending with a cell phone contract / order coming anytime into year end. This is also, even without that news, a January popper play. Stock got hammered over the last 2 months as the company raised some cash, and the financiers, like they always do, moved in, shorted the stock, got the stock really cheap. Time for it to move up so that they can sell those shares. We had tax sell bottom last week. We had almost a 2 million volume day. We've been slowly moving higher since then. A break over the 50-day moving average, and we're off to the races on this one with a move to 70. If we get the news that we think we're going to get on this one, a double in this kind of market environment is not out of the question. We've got RSI breaking 50 for the first time since the sell-off back there in August. We got a downtrend breakout at on the stochastics line. So everything is a go on this chart. Would be looking to add any dips under the 20-day exponential, 43 cents. Drugstore.com, DSCM. This one has been teasing us with a breakout over the last week. We got that nice little move last week, sort of treaded water over the last couple of days, and then today volume just came out of the blue. Heavy volume buyer again appeared. We got a brief break above 2 before they shook it out again. Looking at this stock, this is not uncommon what we've been seeing on stocks. They break out, they retrace, they scare a lot of traders out, and then they go off to the races, and you've got traders sitting on the sideline going, it's another false breakout. I'm not going to buy it. Looking at this chart, as you can see, resistance is 2. We get a close above 2. And I really think we have a decent shot at the 200-day moving average up there at 264. All the indicators look good. We've got unbalanced volume. Someone is buying the crap out of this stock over the last 2 to 3 weeks. Big sell off in August. Nice breakout here. The dot coms have been doing very, very well. And this sort of buying volume that we've seen appear over the last couple of weeks usually results in a very big upside move. So if you're not in DSCM, would consider adding dips 195 and under, or wait for a close above 2 and then jump into it. So going into tomorrow, we've got a nice setup in our PARD. CXM looks really, really good. BLDP would definitely be looking to pick up a position in here, just given what its peers have been doing recently. And this one is obviously under some tax loss selling pressure. It won't last. JOEZ, Jones Jeans. This is another stock, as you can see, over the last month or so, just beaten up. These are the kind of stocks that do very well from now into the first couple of weeks of January. Playing this one, stops at $155, target 50-day moving average 174. So that's it for the video tonight. If you've got any questions, just shoot me an email or hit me up in the chat room, and I will see you guys in the chat room tomorrow. Good night.